pacing back and forth. Oh, I don't understand why you're standing right here. All your shots have scored. No, scratching at the scars you left on my skin. We fight and we fall, then we rise through it all till we find what we want, then we lose it all again. Your touch on my skin, pull me close, take me in. Just me, just you, lost in the moment.
Wow, okay. Guys, can you tell I was out in the sun? And I had my scarf on. Okay, well, yeah, this is my no makeup look, and my hair is a little messy, and it is what it is. So I'm just sitting here drinking my coffee, and I was wondering whether or not I should make this video, and I decided I'm gonna try. I don't know if I'll get through it. I don't even know if it'll be uploaded, but definitely going to try. I love makeup, and I didn't wear it for years because of an abusive relationship, and I was told, what are you doing? Why are you dressing up? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So basically my makeup was non-existent from 2013 to 2017. And then I got back into makeup, and I got out of that relationship, and then I started my channel 2019, I think, and it has been a great journey. I have met so many wonderful people. This literally is my socialization. This is where it begins and ends, is pretty much on YouTube. I don't socialize with many people in person, not just because of COVID, but because of I have a hard time trusting people, and I think a lot of us who've been in abusive relationships go through that. I'm a very loyal friend, and when I do things, I always check my motives. That was one thing I've always learned. You know, what is your motive behind doing something? And if you have a good and pure motive, then do it, you know, and if you don't, reevaluate what you're thinking and what you're doing. So I am always, you know, doing things for the right reasons, and that's just the type of person that I am. I tried to help a lot of people over the years, and I got burned really, really bad. And there are other people out there that sometimes just pick on you and other things just because, you know, they want to find something, and maybe it makes them feel better about themselves. And I don't agree with any of that. I'm as active as I can be on social media, because behind the scenes, there's a lot that no one sees. And a lot of you have asked about my daughter. I have 4 children. I have 2 girls and 2 boys, and I have one child, Kayla, who a lot of you already know, is 13 years old, and she has tuberous sclerosis. She was born with it. And I don't talk about that or what I go through on a daily basis, because I'd rather show you guys who I am in the makeup world and without the added stress that I do deal with on a daily basis. And it's not easy to talk about. I have to remind myself that it's okay to have feelings, and it's okay to share these things. We're all human. We need to get these things out. So putting up a public video is kind of hard, but you guys asked. You know, you wanted to know about Kayla, you wanted to know what was wrong with her, you wanted to see a little bit of our lives. So I've taken some short clips, and I have some pictures that I found and different things that I'll probably put in here if this video even makes it on YouTube. And Wednesday, March 18th, 2009, at about 4:13 in the afternoon, I had gotten Kayla's results from an MRI. I gave birth to Kayla Friday, March 7th, 2008, and she was my 3rd child. And she was beautiful and perfect. But I kind of, over the next 6 months, kind of felt like something was different about her, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I remember her first laugh. I remember her doing this weird thing with her finger. She would bring her finger up and look at it and go like, it was weird. And I had mentioned it at a doctor appointment, and the doctor's like, you taught her to do that. I'm like, no, I didn't. Who does this? Why would you say something like that? And she'd make like these weird noises sometimes and different things. And then at about 7 or 8 months of age, I saw her have a seizure. And I mean, it was a voluntary movement. I was getting her up from her nap and she was in her crib and she started banging her head. I was like, she's not meaning to do this. Something's wrong. So I brought her to a neurologist. I brought her to a pediatrician. I said, something's wrong. And she had ash leaf patches on her skin, but they weren't like so pronounced that you could see them without actually examining her from head to toe. And that is one of the signs of tuberous sclerosis. And anyhow, so I took her to get a CT scan, which I bugged this doctor for. We were in Florida. She was born in Florida at the time. And they did the CT scan. I took her to radiology, and I remember going through all of that and then getting home, and my house phone rang. Yes, we had house phones at the time. It rang as soon as we got home, and they said, I don't want you to get alarmed. And of course, my heart sank. I mean, why do you even start a sentence like that? Don't be alarmed. What's the first thing you're going to do? Be alarmed? You know? So they said, we saw some shadows on her CT scan. Can you bring her to All Children's Hospital, which was an hour and a half away, for an MRI? I said, yeah. And then they made me wait 2 weeks to get the results of that. So March 18th, at about 4:13, 4:16 in the afternoon, we get the news. And I felt like I had been punched in the stomach because literally the wind was knocked out of me. They told me my daughter had tuberous sclerosis, and I didn't know what that was. 1 in 6,000 are born with it. So they said, oh, it's not that rare. I didn't know what it was. So they brought in the other doctor, and they started saying, you know, they stood in the corner. And at the time, Kayla's father was in the room with me. And we both felt like we had been punched in the stomach. Tuberous sclerosis is a condition.
I already got 2 shakes today.
Okay. Water and a cheese is good.
Okay.
I always have the kids. So, tuberous sclerosis is a condition that causes tumors to grow in your major organs. And Kayla had 2 back here in her head and 1 here. And it caused her to kind of cock her head a little bit. And they said they were inoperable. And but they usually, when they're in those positions, they don't grow. And I knew nothing about this condition. So I was like, what does this mean? And they said, well, she'll probably, she's got rhabdomyomas on her heart, which are tumors, and she needed to see a cardiologist, and she was going to need a specialist for each of her major organs, you know, a nephrologist for her kidneys, someone for her lungs, someone for her heart, someone for her, she has an MRI done every year, a neurologist, all of these different things. And she's going to need to see these doctors periodically to get scans. An eye doctor, because tumors can develop behind your eyes, and all these different things. And they said, well, you know, I mean, by the time she's 4, she'll probably end up with angiofibromas, which is these little red things that sometimes people think is acne on her face. She was born with them, and they've become more pronounced over the years. And they said, if she lives to be an adult, well, that just did it for me. I was like, what? So over the years, I've watched her forget how to talk, have daily seizures, been on so many different types of medications, in and out of the emergency rooms. And yet she is the sweetest, most lovable child in the world. She can't walk by herself anymore. She does need to see, we're hoping that we can get surgery done on her legs because she walks on her toes. She did have like braces at one point, but she broke them. She is mobile to the point where she's constantly moving her body. Not all of the motions she can control. So, you know, she's and different things a lot of the time. And, you know, that's how she communicates, and that's just how she is. So like getting her a new chair. I mean, she was in a high chair up until like a year ago eating because we couldn't get the equipment she needed approved through her insurance. You know, my whole life has changed. I am a single mom, and I don't mind being a single mom, but I carry all of the burden and all of the responsibilities on me. And there are times where everything is just too much. So I'm like, okay, Karen, how are we going to deal with this? You know, well, this week, okay, well, you know what? Maybe Friday at 7. Well, I'll take an hour. So this way I can just sit down and feel everything and get through it all. Cry if I need to without my children seeing me, you know? And Kayla sleeps in an enclosed bed. We have gates around the house.
See that up there? That's the camera that I use to monitor Kayla throughout the night. And this is her bed. I know it's huge, right? But it has to be like this. It's padded there. And then out here, this closes, that closes. This is how we close it. And then up here, she can actually stick her hands in here, but over here she can't. But that's the only way we can close it, because after this is closed, that bar goes up there. So she can't get out. It keeps her safe.
You know, I've got to monitor her at all times. We can't go on family trips anymore. Nothing. Because Kayla, you know, Kayla's on a ketogenic diet, and you've got to have prepared meals. You've got to weigh her food. It's got to be a certain amount. She has a dietitian, you know, among the 80 other specialists she has in her life. And, you know, I have to separately make her food from everybody else's, because they cannot at all cross-contaminate. Shh. Kona doesn't like noises, and Jackson's running around in the background.
Yeah, because that's the look for Kayla's baby belt cheese.
Baby Bell cheese. It's in. Tell Amber to come out and get it, because it's in the Walmart bag.
What?
Yeah, it's in a plastic bag.
Oh crap! I didn't know that. I'll do it. Don't worry.
I still consider myself blessed, and Kayla's now 13. She turned 13 on March 7th, and they're worried she's becoming a woman. They're worried about her getting her period. And they kind of want to give her a hysterectomy because they feel like the hormones, she already has daily seizures, and not any medication is going to completely control her type of seizures. So she does have epilepsy, but that is not her primary diagnosis. Her primary diagnosis is tuberous sclerosis complex. That is the official name for it. And at this point in her life, I have always refused to accept into my spirit that she will not make it to be an adult. I believe that miracles do happen, and I've seen some of them happen with her and with different things in my life. You know, I've grown very close to God, and I pray all the time. And for Kayla, the doctors are, you know, what are we going to do when she gets her period? I don't know what to do. They want to put her on birth control. I'm like, I'm not really sure how I'm going to handle that, but I'm doing research on it, and I've got to talk to so many different doctors. And then you should see like her papers I've got to carry around. We've got like volume 1, 2, 3, almost all the way through 5 with all of the tests she goes through, with all of everything. So there are times where I love to sit down and read my comments, because it takes me away from this, and I get to focus on you guys. I can't do that all the time as much as I want to. And there's so much I want to accomplish in this world. You know, I've got a Facebook group where there's a bunch of YouTubers in there, you know, beauty creators, people that are on keto that make different channels and different videos in regards to that. And I came up with that group 2 years ago because I really wanted a loyal group, and you had to be like referred in, because you guys deserve attention, and there are some amazing channels out there that have not been discovered yet, because not everybody gets the pleasure of being picked up by the algorithm. So, and I still have yet to figure out how that works, But I don't really focus on that. I focus on what I'm doing and what content I want to put out there and what will help you guys, knowing what I've been through and my struggles.
What are you doing? Kayla.
The island of Pelicans. You have been transferred here as part of a work program to retrofit my island. But your free time will be spent in a single natural cell.
Kayla.
Unplug. Keep your feet up.
Kayla. Hey, mommy's calling you.
A big chunk of your lives here.
Struggles with skin, struggles with other things, you know, how I stay young. I am 42. I'm going to be 43 soon. My birthday's on July 3rd. I just realized it's less than a month away. And wow, time goes by so quickly. My oldest child just turned 24. My daughter, my oldest daughter, is going to be 17 on July 7th. Jackson is 7. He may be repeating the first grade because he can't read yet. He's doing excellent in every other area. And I did my very best to homeschool him throughout this COVID, but it's hard. We had like 6 hours a day of work with him, and then Amber had her work, and then Kayla had her work, and then I needed to work. I do work. I work. And there's things that I have to do. But there's also the struggle with, if I make too much money, Kayla will lose her insurance, you know? So it's like, yeah. And I don't have child support for my children. That's pretty much non-existent. And Kayla's father is currently incarcerated. That's another story. But anyhow, I do everything myself, and it's a lot. It's really a lot. But I want to take you through a little bit of what we have here in the house for Kayla. We have a gate, and she's at the point now where when she walks, we have to be right behind her because she can do a drop seizure, which is no warning. She just, her head, whoom, all the way to the floor, and it's crazy. So she's in an enclosed bed at nighttime. I've got a camera on the top to see through it that, you know, it's like a baby monitor. So I have that in my room for her. And then we have to like rig one of her chairs for her to sit in the kitchen and eat. So this way she could be, cause they don't make a high chair big enough for her. And they don't, for whatever reason, I'm told that there's nothing we can do except if we wanted to spend like $5,000 on a chair for her made to eat. Cause it can't be like wood. It can't be anything real hard cause she could hit her head. And it's just, it's a pain in the ass. I just tell you right now. It really is. But
Do you think Kayla's
today's the day where I want 5 minutes to myself. Just 5. That's it. That's all I want. 5. Will I get it? Probably not. Anyhow, I'm the woman that really doesn't sleep, that gets woken up in the middle of the night when I hear Kayla having a seizure, or I just sometimes will know and get up and run to her room. It's amazing how your body can feel things, you know? And then people are like, oh, why don't you just go back to sleep right after that? Have you ever gone back to sleep right after holding a child having a grand mal seizure? No, that doesn't happen. You're watching the child. You're watching their breathing after it, especially if you had to administer medication, which happens, you know? So Kayla's on so many different medications, and nothing completely controls her seizures, not even that damn diet. But that diet helps more than any medication has ever. So, but it's so strict too. Like, I notice she does better with organic foods as opposed to meats having nitrates. I always have to look at everything. And then if I can't get something organic for the month, I'm like, because I know it's going to contribute to her having seizures. Nitrates in meat are the enemy. And it's unfortunate, but it's a way of life. So she is constantly at the doctor's and for checkups. If it's not, a sick visit, it's a checkup. It's something she needs. She needs an MRI, a scan of the brain. She needs an ultrasound of the heart, an ultrasound of the kidneys, a chest x-ray. Eye doctor, she's got to go to them. They got to make sure she doesn't have tumors behind her eyes. We do all of these things every 3 months. So imagine trying to live a life and do this. And I would never change my life, not for the world. I want to make some things better, of course, and I'm always striving to do that. But this is a life I never thought I'd be living alone. I mean, I've got these amazing children, and they're so amazing, and they're each so unique, and I just love that about them. But sometimes my body runs out of gas like a car. It's like, oh my gosh. That's where I'm hyped up on caffeine, and I take whatever minute I can get to film, to read my comments, to respond back. So when I see those comments from you guys, if I post something with Kayla and you guys are like, oh, and you get all excited, or if I see one of you saying, I really love this video, Karen, you helped me. I'm like, yes, that's awesome. That's amazing. I'm so glad, it's the light and highlight of my life, is being able to separate my family life and spend time with you guys is everything to me. I've got about 4,000 subscribers now, and I love doing this. I wish I had more time, to spend doing things, because I have a lot of video ideas and a lot of clips that don't have a home yet, that I may put together and do a video with. I don't know. But I wanted to give you guys a picture of what it's like behind the scenes. I don't like it. I never judge anyone, but I do know that people judge me from time to time. And it's because they don't know me and they don't know my personality and all of that. And sometimes you'll see a comment here or there, that's not too nice. But at the same time, these people don't know you. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know that you have a pure heart in doing this. They don't know anything. And I don't hold that against anybody. And I'm not going to, because it's hard for anyone to know your intention, with anything, unless they truly take the opportunity to get to know you. And a lot of you have taken the opportunity to get to know me. And that's why, guys, I ask you guys your favorite color. I can tell you pretty much almost everyone's favorite color that, is a regular commenter on my channel, on my videos, because I read them and I soak it all in. That is my way of conversating. I don't talk on the phone unless it's doctors or pharmacies or stuff like that. I hate the phone. I hate it. Once in a while, I'll talk with Amanda on the phone, my baby. I love her so much. And, but that's it. I'll talk to my parents, but most of the time I'm texting. Texting is my thing, because even though things might be noisy here, I can still text you, as opposed to trying to listen and all this stuff. And then, to be honest with you, I'm just so exhausted at the end of the day. It's draining. It's so draining. People are like, how do you stay so skinny? Well, I never sit down. And when I do, you hear her? This is the type of, she does, But anyway, so I wanted to give you a little bit of a background so you guys kind of know where I come from and what my values are, what my morals are. I'm not dating. I don't want to date. I have had 2 men, I think, in my life over the last 6 years, and I need to be on my own. There is not a man that I know that's strong enough to become a part of my family. And I'm okay with that, because this is a lot and we are worth it. And I will not accept less like I have in the past. I won't do it. Absolutely not. So I've had some rocky, I guess, relationships, 1 or 2 rocky friendships where I realized my problem is I like to help everyone. I'm a counselor, and I've dealt with a lot of people that were addicted to drugs. I've seen a lot of success stories. Oh my gosh, I love those. I love these success stories. But I've also seen a lot of people backslide, steal from me, other things. that's another reason why I kind of don't let very many people in. And I do miss, I have fun with my children, but I do miss, going out and having fun, and maybe I'll get back into it one day. I'm not in a rush, and I kind of don't want to do it because, do you guys remember my story time video where I went on a date, kind of, to meet someone and my dad came with me? I love him so much. But he came with me because I was meeting someone new that I've been talking to for a while, and he put up such a front. And then it turned out he was a pig. Good looking man, but a pig. And it was so discouraging. I was like, oh, I was insulted actually. I was like, because he was just all about, oh, you have a great body. Why would you say that to me? After knowing me or seeing me for like the first couple times, like, what is your motive here? Or the guy that took me out to dinner, which I thought we were going to have dinner, and told the waitress, I posted this on Twitter, I think, that we were going to have a liquid diet. Now, this was a while ago. So I did drink, and I also went home by myself. I figured, you know what? Okay, this is going to backfire on you. And it did. So I am a very strong woman, a very independent woman, a very passionate woman, and I'm going to stay that way. I am going to have bad days. I'm going to have good days, and I'm going to have days where I feel blessed and days where I don't want to get out of bed. And that is normal mom life. And it's okay. So if there are things out there you're struggling with, and see, I have to turn this around because I know I'm going to be okay. And not everyone has been through what I've been through, but they have their own struggles, and you just never know what someone is going through. And I know a lot of people say that, but do you believe it? I can't stand watching people criticize other people or judging other people or doing any of those things. And sometimes the beauty community drives me crazy, where I've actually taken time off from videos in the last couple months, for different reasons. One, because too much was going on in my life or I didn't feel good, but also it was discouraging, to see people attack other people. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And I'm not okay with people doing that. It seems like on Twitter, you're not allowed to have an opinion. You've got to agree with everyone else. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you and they want to cancel your ass. It's like, really? Is this what our world has come to? Because everyone's got choices and those choices need to be respected. It's not like, we're all going to believe in the same things all the time. No, that's not going to happen. There's so much diversity in the world, and it's supposed to be there. You're supposed to be diverse, You're supposed to love one another, and it doesn't matter who they are, what they're into, what their skin color is. None of those things matter. And unfortunately, to some people, they do. And it's sad. It's really, really, really sad. And I know this video is kind of all over the place, and I wanted to break some things down for you. I'll probably include clips in here of different things I have taken, videos that I've taken over the last few months. And if you've got questions, put them in the comments below. If, you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes out of your day to say a prayer for us, I would love that so much. And if you have been a subscriber of mine since the beginning, thank you. And if you just came here, thank you, because I'm just getting to know you and seeing new names and new faces, and it excites me because I'm like, oh, there's new friends, new people to talk to, that could be from anywhere in the world, anywhere in the States. And I think that's amazing, considering I can't really travel. And eventually I will have a nurse again, hopefully for Kayla. And even with that though, I'd rather be the one that's with her, So it's kind of, I know I've got to be able to separate some things, but it's so hard to do. So hard to do. I hate leaving her. I don't like leaving her at all whatsoever. And so I haven't in the longest time. But my anxiety level is like, whoosh, Karen needs a vacation. Even if it's just a couple hours in bed, I'm so thankful for the little moments where I can just, it's quiet. That doesn't happen often. At all. So please know, I may not respond to every comment right away, but I read them. I love them. I love you. And I care so very much. I just really hope that you guys have gotten something out of this video, realized that my life is crazy and hectic. But even through all of that, I love what I do on YouTube, and I look forward to every video that I make in hopes that it reaches the people that can benefit from it, that want to see it, and would want to get to know me. So I want to say thank you if you're still here and you watched this entire video. You are amazing and wonderful and awesome, and I just love you so very much. Even if you've never commented, I know there's a lot of you that are still there, so thank you. I will be posting updated videos and more makeup tutorials, but tell me what you want to see down in the comments below, and I will see you guys really soon in another video.
Lost in the moment. Lost in the moment.